name is Ernesto Busnelli, and I would like to invite you to my universe. And while I briefly tell you a story, we will visit my universe on my private jet, and you get to be my passenger of honor. Check it out, state of the art, voice operated. Sonic! Ha, how's that? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Ciao. Well, here we are, gliding in our universe. The request for me sharing through this video came from Elliott, also well known in the internet world as the Great Edward. Edward heard my story and thought that it would inspire others to pursue their dreams. I was born to an Italian-Belgian family in Argentina, in a northern province called Santiago. When I was 2 years of age, I became a father orphan due to an accident, and what was left of the family moved to a neighboring province called Tucumán. Then when I was around 6 or 7 years of age, while learning about Leonardo and his work, I became fascinated with Leonardo's story. I started creating things, designing airplanes, drawing, making 3D models, and making music in my head, although I did not play any instrument yet. At around 18 years of age, I started dreaming with the idea of going out to the world and visiting other countries, learning other languages and cultures. It was a recurring dream, very vivid and tenacious. I went through a 6-year program in architecture and urbanism, in exactly 6 years. I had achieved my PhD degree in architecture and urbanism. 1 year after that, the opportunity to go and have a living experience in California came along, and I did not let it pass me by. The job opportunity was offered and ended up being pretty much a modern attempt at slavery, although that did not surprise me too much. I left the offered position, and I had to survive on my own. Now, I need to tell you that I had no clue about the English language, and in fact, I did not even understand it. My English was restricted to the Beatles lyrics, so there were not too many words I was able to understand, and I was able to say just excerpts from the songs or songs titles. So I must have sounded pretty funny saying things like, we can't work it out, tomorrow never knows, you never give me your money. Would you like to come with me and visit one of my favorite places in the world? Come on, let's go. Well, come with me, let's go and see Paris from the air. Bonjour Paris. Here we are. You get to see quite a privileged view of Paris from the air. So now going back to my story. I had it very difficult, very often. I had to do things like sleep in a construction site for about 10 days, and then things like the first studio that I rented was so cold that I drew a fireplace on a board and I just taped it up to the wall just for visual warmth, and also to put some Christmas cards up. There were not too many since I didn't have too many friends. And I rode around on a land bike for months, and then the first car I had was given to me because otherwise the owner had to pay to have it towed away. That first car was a 1973 Toyota with no reverse and no ignition key. The ignition was so worn out that the way to get it started was with a big screwdriver. Since I did not have a reverse in the car, I had to park it away from downtown, from the traffic, and walk into town. And to park it, I had to be very strategic to make sure that I was able to drive away. If it was a flat block, it had to be the very first car in the row, otherwise I would be stuck. If the street had a slope, I had a second option of parking it in the last spot of the road, so that way I would be able to back it up by just gravity. So I had to drive around until I found one of those two options. You want to come to another place? What about Pisa now, in Italy? Wanna come? Come on, let's go. Here we are, this is Pisa. Buongiorno, bella Pisa. Come stai? I was telling you about some of my adversities. But you know what? I don't regret any second of it all. And reminiscing those hard times warms my heart, and it makes my personal growth tangible and gives me an enormous sense of achievement. I was not trying to pull your heartstrings or play poor little me. All is good. It was an absolutely great experience. And I was able to travel around the world and see all those buildings and places that I had studied while I was in my university. So remembering from the books and seeing those buildings right there in front of me was something very special. And taking a pen and sketching those buildings, oh, those are moments that I will never forget. But after you have reached your dreams, you always need to have a new one, something else. And my dream for today, the reason for this video, is to inspire you and you and you to follow that, what you were made for, to materialize that, what is so important for you, but it was left aside because life, fear, or excuses got in the way. So, have you clearly defined what you want to achieve and who you want to become? Remember that an excuse is a poor substitute for your lack of action. Have your dream, but stop dreaming. Wake up and run towards it. You don't have to move around countries. That was my choice. Make sure you make a choice. You have your choice. But do not let it be someday a forgotten fantasy. Now let's go a bit higher for a broader view of this.